it took me a really long time and many years of dating from a place of disconnection with myself to realize that it was that disconnection from my authentic self that was really the block that was creating all of the disappointments that I was having with dating. And it was really revolutionary when I started to see a couple of the ways that I was showing up in my dating life and in the way that I would present myself to potential romantic partners, whether that was on a date or whether that was at a party or an event or something. When I have finally had the aha moment where it became clear how my relationship with myself, my habits and, secret behavior and secret single behavior with food, and how my true just negative feelings about my body was impacting how I was showing up. And then when I changed those things and I healed them, how much of a huge difference it made in my life. And and it was so interesting because I see this so often with women where we know that we don't feel great about ourselves. We know that we might have some habits or behaviors that are not in alignment with our highest selves. And we also blame the outside world for why we haven't had the relationship that we want, right? It's either men suck, people suck, or, work is too crazy. There's all these kind of external circumstantial reasons. But today I really want to just uproot a couple of the personal accountability things that I found for myself and that I also see in my clients that really block and create that hindrance for that relationship and that partnership and that true connection that a lot of the women, and if you're listening to this and you resonate with this, really, really want. So, the first one that I'm going to talk about is feeling insecure because, and this might seem really obvious, but I know for myself, I felt insecure a lot, but would kind of shove that down and still go on a date. I would shove that down and still go to a party and still talk, still engage in conversation with people. But what I realized was that I felt insecure about being seen, not only physically, but I felt insecure about somebody entering my space and seeing how I behave around food, right? When I got deeper into it, when we talk about being insecure, we talk about feeling insecure about, we could talk about feeling insecure about how we look, but we could also talk about feeling insecure about how we actually live and behave. And when we have that feeling about ourselves, we know that we're living out of alignment with how we truly want to feel about ourselves and how we truly want to be. And we show up to dates or parties or events and we engage with people hoping to connect with them, but we inside have this insecurity about ourselves. At the end of the day, that's not going to create a connection. What could happen is that you show up and you're a version of yourself. Maybe you show up as the mask that you want people to see. But I know for myself, and I've seen it with my clients as well, that mask only goes so far. And that mask is a double edged sword because that mask might get people interested, but ultimately that mask is going to feel like a burden. And that mask is going to feel like a cage. And ultimately, that mask is going to keep people at arm's length, and you're not going to create the relationship that you want. And that mask is really only born out of an insecurity. And so when we're willing to face that insecurity and do the work it takes to create alignment in all the areas that make us feel insecure, that is like a fast lane towards connection because we're connecting with ourselves.